very soon there's going to be a big massive update for our iPhones. And no, I'm not talking about iOS 17 or anything. This is actually iOS 16.2. Now the reason why I almost always look at these updates and almost recommend people updating to these specific versions of software rather than the full OS versions like from iOS 15 to 16 or iOS 14 to 15, these are the times where I'd probably start recommending people that if you're in the market and you still haven't updated yet to iOS 16, this might be one of the best times to actually go ahead and start preparing your iPhone to actually start updating to this version of software. Now, this version of software, like I said, it's not bigger than iOS 16. It didn't bring more features than what the base version of iOS 16 brought. But if you remember, iOS 16 comes out in a beta format. It comes in a beta format for a couple of months, then it releases in an official version. But that is the thing. That official version is not that stable. There's lots of bugs. And this year in particular, there were tons of issues going on with it. I think everybody kind of saw the battery issues, performance slowdowns. A lot of people weren't happy with it. Some people were really happy with it. But in this case, with iOS 16.2 that is coming out next week, this is probably going to start being the glimmer of hope. That is probably going to be, in my opinion, one of the most important updates for the rest of this year. I mean, from the September timeframe since iOS 16, this is the update that a majority of people are probably going to want to start at least keeping their eye out for, at least in my opinion. So this is where things are kind of switching up a little bit. So I say that to say within iOS 16.2, there are tons and tons of just protection and just security updates that are coming on with this update, especially if you're somebody who owns one of the newest iPhones like an iPhone 14 Pro. So for one, you're getting a new end-to-end encryption, which is our advanced data protection, which is really cool. So this adds more security in our iCloud, applications, things like iMessages, things like our notes, voice memos, and a lot more applications on top of that. So that in and of itself is really important. We're getting some new lock screen improvements as well, including on iOS 16.2 for the 14 Pros to actually be able to turn off the wallpaper if we don't want the wallpaper and or notifications to be shown. So that is in and of itself another massive change that we're getting here too, which I think is actually really cool. Now, we're getting some new AirDrop settings, which is kind of a weird thing here and there. But again, you have to keep in mind that I would recommend updating to 16.2 if you're coming from iOS 15. If you're already on iOS 16, then I would just recommend updating anyway. But on iOS 15 devices, this is probably going to be the updates that if you're waiting to actually update your phone, this might be the update for you. Just keep in mind, make a backup and everything. But I would probably start preparing your iPhone, in my opinion. So that kind of covers it up. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.